What's going on, everybody? All right. Katie 2, Jilly Bean, Erica, Cherry K, Soper Girl, Louisiana Girl, KK, Rubicon 39, LJ, Anna Brown, Faith, Pamela S, Live in Chaos, Mrs. R&B, Braun, Amy Jade, Cat's Eye, Steffi SG, Twisted T. Did I already say Twisted T? Sassy Evelyn, Bobby Pin, St. Elmo's Fire, long time. It's good to see you. Perfectly Imperfect, Kaylee P. All right, Kaylee with the P3 wins handle of the day right off the bat. Sonia B, Pamela S. All right. Sorry, gotta get my coffee in me too. All right. Sorry, I just got a really funny text. So yeah, man, this Morphew thing, man, it took a hard left turn, didn't it? Nicole H changed it. Okay. Yeah, this Morphew thing took a hard left turn, man. It's weird. It's weird. Now, supposedly, the defense is claiming that there's no physical evidence, no body, no murder weapon, no blood, like nothing, right? But it also is revealed that Suzanne has been having an affair with. This is where it becomes a soap opera, guys. This is where this becomes the Watts case all over again, right? As far as social media. And listen, the Gone Girl thing, come on, man. Like, come on with that. That is a far-fetched situation because Barry clearly had motive. And there's some circumstantial stuff that pretty much indicates. Now, why would he? I mean, could he have been telling the truth? Remember, he got arrested for voter fraud. He got charged with voter fraud because he voted for Trump in Suzanne's name. She's been missing for a year now. Suzanne Morphew, as we all know, has been missing since Mother's Day weekend of last year. And yeah, Louisiana Girl, I'm not buying that either. Listen, I'm going to have some unpopular opinions because my demographic is 90% female. So I'm going to have some unpopular opinions as I understand it. But let me tell you something. Listen, what's up, Rob's Rules? I'm going to go ahead and say it. Suzanne seems like she might have been a little trifling. Just a little trifling, okay? Don't get mad at me, okay? She was having an affair with some lover, and this dude didn't even speak up. He didn't say nothing. Probably because he was married too. Makes sense, but doesn't make him any less of a dirtbag in my eyes. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, Chicken Little. That's the defense is going to go with the whole Gone Girl thing. I mean, dude, I'm not buying that. Now, let me tell you. Let's talk about Gone Girl for a second, because now, if you guys don't know what Gone Girl is, it's a book, and then it was a David Fincher movie. I didn't read the book, but I watched the David Fincher movie, and as I said in Annie's chat yesterday or the day before, I was like, Gone Girl is easily, the ending of Gone Girl is easily the most infuriating cinematic experience of my life. Like, I was in the theater and I was yelling at the screen. I was like, what? Affleck, what are you doing, dude? Like, you're just gonna take that? You're just gonna take that, dude? Like, yeah, that I was so mad. I was so mad. Welcome, Julie Wallace. So yeah, I'm not. Thanks, Rob's Rules, man. I appreciate it, dude. Appreciate it, man. Well, the thing is, though, listen, this is what's going to make everybody mad, okay? All right? And I'm not victim blaming here. It's not what I'm doing. I want to be clear about that. But if it applies to Watts, it applies to Suzanne too. I don't care what you say. Instead of cheating, you leave. If you're unhappy, you get up and leave. And I don't want to hear the excuse of, oh, well, she was in an abusive relationship, because so far there's no evidence to indicate that. There's no evidence to indicate that he was controlling. She's just because she says certain things, and she says that he uses scripture to be manipulative or whatever. It doesn't mean that he was this controlling, abusive dude. There was no evidence of this. At least so far, there's no evidence of this. At least not yet. Okay, so far, we're just talking based on it. I'm just giving my opinions based on what we know so far, and that's it. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, Erica, good point. Like, why did this guy just not come forward? You know what I mean? Like, I get that he's married too, and he doesn't want his wife to find out. But, you know, it seemed like Suzanne didn't have a whole lot of respect for herself. Now, I'm not a psychologist. I don't know, but seems like she's got a pattern of being with dudes and not doing it the right way. You know what I mean? When it comes to Barry, I mean, if she's in a controlling relationship, you just leave. If you're that strong-willed and you're bold enough to have an affair for 2 years, you're bold enough to have an affair with a dude for 2 years. Okay, like, somewhere within those 2 years, you're complaining that Barry works way too much and he works all the time. He's never home. There's no evidence that he's having an affair. That hasn't come out, at least not yet. So, I mean, 2 years, at some point, you could pack up and leave. Your kids are grown. Your 2 daughters, they're grown, right? At some point, you could pack up and you can leave. You could say, look, dude, I just don't like you anymore, and leave. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If we could say that about Watts, then we could say that about Morphew. Now, obviously, the difference is Suzanne Morphew didn't murder her family. But what I'm saying is, I'm talking about when it comes to cheating. When it comes to cheating, we're talking about the subject of cheating. Okay? There's no excuse for that, in my opinion. I don't care if it's a man doing it. I don't care if it's a woman doing it. If you're lying to your spouse, you're cheating. If you're doing something behind your spouse's or a significant other's back, you're cheating. Period. You're living foul. I mean, there's no other way, you know? And no, and I'm not justifying Barry's actions if he is guilty. And the truth is, personally, I think he's probably guilty. I think he probably is. But what I'm trying to establish here is the fact that there's motive. I mean, there's motive. There definitely seems to be a if I can't have her, nobody can. Who's this guy? I'm the one supporting her. I'm the one, you know, she's living under my roof, spending my money, eating my food, and then she's going to be diddling some dude behind my back? No. So that's probably what where his mindset is, you know? But I just, you know, so supposedly also there's 5 hours of recorded conversations from a spy pen that Suzanne has, right? That it was Suzanne's spy pen, right? But I'm curious as to why she would record. Now, apparently, the spy pen picked up Barry watching forensic files, and and an episode where a woman disappeared on a bike. For those of you who don't know, Suzanne's bike was found at the bottom of like a ditch or a ravine or something to that effect. And so the story is she went out on a bike ride. At least Barry's story is that she went out on a bike ride and got mauled by some type of bobcat or cougar or something to that effect. But why would she record the conversation between her and her lover? Was it accidental? Was she planning on using it as leverage against him because he's married? I mean, let's face it. We're seeing. Hold on a second. Sorry, 1 second. All right. Sorry, I had to do something about my lighting because it was getting on my nerves. Right. A lot of circumstantial evidence. I'm not questioning. Again, like I'm saying, the circumstantial evidence is a lot, but it may not. My issue is that it may not be enough to convict him. His lawyers think that they could totally get him off. So, yeah, it's super hot outside, man. It's stupid. It's stupid. Here in Tennessee, it's so hot. So why is she recording the conversations with the dude, with her lover? Why? You know what I'm saying? Like, why create evidence that's going to get you caught with your man? I mean, dude, is anybody here like? Because I mean, and then I saw some stupid post. The whole Gone Girl thing. The whole Gone Girl thing just doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. Like that's so far fetched. It's so ridiculous and so far fetched. You know, like I don't think that this person like. Do I think that she? I've always been saying this since we started talking about this case. I always defended Barry in the sense that there was not enough evidence to start jumping to the conclusion that he's responsible for his wife's disappearance. Now, obviously, once law enforcement arrested him, I assumed, which our track record with CBI of collecting evidence is pretty thorough. We have a lot of experience with Colorado cases, guys. And so I just assumed if they had enough to arrest him, they probably got enough to convict him, because we're not looking for evidence to arrest somebody. We're looking for evidence to convict somebody in a court of law. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, internet sucks here. Sorry about that. Yeah, prosecutor's job is to, law enforcement's job, investigators, professional investigators, their job is to collect evidence that will lead to a conviction for the prosecution. So the fact is, I mean, with what we know so far, according to the defense, they don't have any physical evidence, and they're going to try to use circumstantial evidence to build their case. But if Barry's lawyers are good at their job, then they're going to create reasonable doubt, and he could very well get away with murder if he's guilty. But I mean, if he's found not guilty in a court of law, then he's found not guilty in a court of law. You know what I'm saying? This isn't exactly a Casey Anthony situation. There was definitely physical evidence against Casey Anthony. There was definitely circumstantial evidence against Casey Anthony. What happened was the prosecution failed to present their case as best as they possibly can. Their investigators dropped the ball, and that's why Casey Anthony got away with murdering little baby Kaylee. So I don't want to hear everybody freaking out and whining when this dude gets found not guilty, because if it looks like this dude, if it looks the way if it is the way it looks, then he's going to get away with this. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is that's, yeah, Caleb's making a good point. So, I mean, the prosecution is probably going to put him in places that he should not have been. Then there's the 5 different garbage, the 5 different garbage dumps. I mean, and I was joking in 10 to Life's chat because I mean, it's, you know, I'm playing devil's advocate in a joking manner about as far as the defense. So what's the defense going to be saying there? What's up, Norma Thomas? What's the defense going to be saying there when it comes to that? And I find that interesting. Like, so, I mean, who knows, man? Maybe Barry was a hoarder and just started to just clean up his life, so to speak, right then and there. You know, why did he keep his shoelaces but throw away his work boots? A man gets attached to his laces, man. You know, I love my laces, people. All right, so I want you to get off this man's case. Understand? I love my laces. No, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it looks real bad. It looks real bad on this dude. But homeboy, the lover, he's not looking so good either. He's just not. Why didn't this guy come forward? Why didn't this guy help with the investigation? Why didn't this guy even, I mean, like I said, come forward? Why did he not go to police and go, hey, listen, I think you guys should know, you know? I mean, granted, I mean, I know why he didn't. I know why he didn't do it. It's because he's married. He knew it was a high profile case. He's married and he knew it was a high profile case, and he knew that his whole life would go into shambles. But guess what, dude? You ruined your life by messing with a married woman who's not your wife. You got to face the music. So, I mean, the fact that this guy couldn't come forward, didn't have the guts to come forward and explain his situation to law enforcement, because it could very well help their case, could very well help their investigation, could very well help answer questions to what happened to this woman that was his lover. I mean, I feel like that kind of takes precedence, no? I mean, obviously your marriage isn't all that great if you feel like you got to go back on your wife, dude. You know what I mean? Like your marriage was already crap if you felt like you needed to go cheat on her. Sorry. I mean, yeah, his soulmate, right? Chicken Little. No, I don't think that he's guilty of any crime. Louisiana girl's making a good point that he has a solid alibi. Um, yeah, I don't think he's involved. I just think he's a dirtbag who doesn't have the guts to face his wife. Like if your life is so miserable, first of all, if your wife is the kind of person that you can't be honest with, well, then you shouldn't be married to her. Second of all, if you feel the need to go out and cheat on your wife for 2 years, well, then your marriage probably isn't very good, and you might as well leave. Might as well get out of that situation. I mean, yeah, I agree with you, Soper Girl. I completely and totally agree with you. Well, I don't know what this guy's financials are like. Yeah, that's a question of financials right there. Like, could it have been a hired hit? Possibly. I mean, the fact that there's no evidence, you know what I mean? The fact that there's no physical evidence indicating that she's even dead, that's pretty, that could definitely be an indication of a professional hit. Mexi, what's up, dude? And speaking of Mexi here, I think I don't know, were we supposed to? Oh yeah, I'm supposed to go live with you tonight. I'm going live on Mexi's channel tonight, guys. So make sure to subscribe to Mexi. And we're going over. What are we going over tonight, Mexi? Are we doing Suzanne Morphew? Or are we doing? Are we still doing Summer Wells? Yeah, perfectly imperfect. I'm willing to bet that. I'm willing to bet that this guy was just a chronic cheat, probably had a Tinder profile. Now, supposedly, I think I heard that Barry had a Ashley Madison profile. That's never a good look. That's never a good look. But whether or not he actually utilized it, that still remains to be seen. Oh, we're doing the spirit box for Rosemary Bly this time. Okay. Yeah, guys, make sure to check that out because I mean, I'm a skeptic, but what that spirit box did and that K2 meter that Mexi uses did man, that had me asking some serious questions about the paranormal. I'm not even trying to lie. Like that was crazy. That was just crazy. Like too many specific responses. Very, very specific responses to yes or no questions. I had never seen that before. So yeah, make sure to check out Mexi's channel tonight if the paranormal side of true crime is something that might interest you. That's what he does. And that will be tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, guys. So 8 p.m. Mountain Time, but so 8 p.m. Mexi's time, 10 p.m. my time. Well, Canine Rescue, I agree with you. I was like the only one. The entire time Suzanne was missing, I was the only one telling people to quit jumping to conclusions about Barry. But But that was because we didn't have any information at all. So, you know, and everything, the information that we did have was pure rumor. Yeah, I agree with you. Perfectly imperfect. Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that now. What's crazy is one thing we have to keep in mind is all of the text messages that are taking place between Barry and Suzanne just seem like Barry was just madly in love with Suzanne. Uh, you know, begging to try to make things work between them, and Suzanne just wasn't having it. But here's the thing: if she's trying to end the marriage so adamantly, just end the marriage, dude. Like I don't care when people sit there and talk, oh, divorces are expensive and blah blah blah. Well, you know what? Like, unless you're a moron, okay? Unless you are a complete and utter blind idiot, then you know that 50% of marriages end in divorce. Literally half of all marriages end in divorce, statistically speaking. So, yeah, do I think Barry was possessive? Sure. Sure. But man, let me tell you something, dude. Like, most men are. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're abusive, okay? But most men, because they're douchebags, because men are just generally douchebags, this is the truth, okay? We have an animalistic, unless we make a conscious effort to not be like this, we have an animalistic need to possess our significant others. We take ownership of them to a certain degree. That's my girl, my woman, my lady. You hear us say things like this all the time. Women do it too. My man. So, I mean, so the fact that he's possessive, that's not enough to convince me that he was abusive, much less a murderer. But I do think that the evidence that we have so far indicates that there's a very distinct possibility and even maybe a likelihood that he had a whole if I can't have her, nobody can. How dare she go behind my back? I've given her everything, so I'm just gonna kill her, and I'm gonna get away with it. So I mean, how do we know that actually happened? I haven't heard about that. Maybe it did happen. I'm just saying I haven't heard about that. So if that's the case, then yeah, that's definitely abusive. Um, but again, like, if you have all these windows of opportunity, the guy goes out of town on these job sites all this time. Your girls are grown. Leave, leave, get up, leave. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit there and make excuses for someone because they're in an abusive relationship. Because if she's bold enough to cheat on him and risk that, if she's bold enough to cheat on him and stay with the same guy for 2 years, keep seeing the same guy for 2 years, and if he was controlling, if Barry was controlling, how come she was able to get away with this for 2 years? Did he, if he's controlling, did he not have access to her cell phone? Did he not access her cell phone? Did he not watch her every second and go, what the hell are you doing? Who are you talking to? What's going on? So you're saying he was controlling at the very least, but I'm not seeing indications that he actually was controlling. I'm not saying he wasn't. And I'm not saying he wasn't a total douchebag either. Yeah, make sure to if you guys are interested in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing, make sure to subscribe to Rob's Rules. Cherry K dropped the link in chat there. Um, See, that's the thing is there's too many people who watch too many movies, but the thing is all these things are possibilities. I've heard of the mob doing that. In the movie Snatch, the big mob boss in the movie Snatch uh, would feed people to his pigs. Yeah, I don't care, sassy Evelyn. I'm saying, when did she have time? You know what I'm saying? Like, when did she have time to have a 2-year affair with this dude? If he was that controlling, he would have never let her just leave town and go disappear with this guy. What, 6 times? Supposedly, didn't they have like 6? So Caleb's saying Suzanne took $70,000 out of the safe in the garage a few days before she went missing. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if this dude is so controlling, well, the thing is, Mexi, this is one of those cases where it's okay for us to actually speculate. To jump to conclusions, no. But to speculate, it's actually okay to do that because he's caught, or at least the investigation itself is over. Now it's presenting the results of their investigation to a jury. That's where we're at now. So I don't have a moral issue with actually speculating with this case right now. I did before. It was happening a lot, and I spoke out a lot about it. But yeah, for sure. Yeah. I got you, bud. Well, yeah, he's been arrested for the crime, but innocent until proven guilty. He still has to be convicted. And I'm not even saying that he's innocent. I'm saying that without a body, without any physical evidence, it's going to be hard to convict him. It's going to be very difficult to convict him. Right. Soper girl. Exactly. It does not mean that he's guilty necessarily. Because guys, you have to keep in mind, remember this, remember that all it takes, generally you got 12 jurors, 4 alternates, right? All it takes is to put doubt in one of those 12 jurors' minds. All it takes is for one of those jurors to be sitting there deadlocked and going, man, it's not enough. I'm not convinced this guy did it. I can't sit here and put in a guilty vote because I'm not sure that he did it. That's all it takes is for somebody to be like, I don't know. Think about that. 1 out of 12 people to go, I don't know. And if I'm not a lawyer, but if I were his, if I was on his defense team, well, I mean, if I was on Barry's defense team, that would be what I'd be going for. It's the easy way to go, in my personal opinion. It's the most logical and rational, easy way to go, which is just to focus on creating doubt. Going, they have failed to prove their case against my client. I mean, this is pretty damning stuff, dude. This is pretty damning stuff. Yeah, I mean, if they go for that Gone Girl theory, they can. You know, I mean, a jury. I don't know, man, but I guarantee you that the defense is going to be is going to play off of the fact that she was having an affair, and they're going to definitely villainize her. They're going to definitely try to make her look bad to the jury, which is probably not even the best way to go. I never understood why lawyers do that. But I guess it depends on who you have on your jury. Like if everybody on this chat was on if everybody on this chat was on this jury, as soon as they try to say, oh my God, Suzanne Morphew was no angel, everybody's going to go, oh my God, how dare you? You're victim blaming. You know what I mean? So, but it's not victim blaming, people. It's not victim blaming. It's just not. We're just pointing out a fact. We're pointing out a fact that she had a lover on the side, and you know, I mean, it's all of a sudden when you look at Suzanne's pictures, you know what I mean? You're not exactly seeing this perfect cookie cutter. I'm just going to keep fit for my husband, you know, because I love him, you know, unconditionally. We have two very well-adjusted, very well-raised daughters. You know, this is not, you know, when I look at her picture now, I'm not seeing that so much now. Now I'm seeing somebody who probably didn't really appreciate what she had, and didn't probably think much of herself, and had a at least, I don't want to say controlling, because I'm not seeing evidence of him being controlling, but I'm seeing a guy who wanted to be controlling, probably just wasn't very good at it. But, you know, I'm definitely seeing you know, I'm definitely seeing another dimension to this entire thing. And it's looking to me, based on his behavioral patterns after the disappearance, you know, it's, I'm still kind of feeling like he did it. You know what I mean? I'm still kind of feeling like he did it. But I can't sit here and say that if I was a juror, that I would be like, yeah, he totally did it. I don't think I could do that. Not with what we know right now. And that's disturbing. That's disturbing, because I sure hope the prosecution has more. I sure do. Well, see, you're just jumping to that conclusion. Were you there? Were you there? Were you there? Dude, when you have a man in a house with a wife and two daughters, okay, like he's gonna have some level of being the man of the house. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it's okay to control people, but he probably had his methods of standing his ground and being and using scripture to be manipulative, and you know, to make sure and maintain the kind of control that he had over that household. But to say that it was to an abusive level, there's no evidence of that yet. Not that I've heard. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not justifying a man being chauvinistic in any way, shape, or form. I'm saying that because a man happens to be chauvinistic in his views, it doesn't necessarily make the situation that he's in, it doesn't make him abusive in the situation that he's in with his loved ones. Right. Soper girl. That's my entire point. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Well, right. They've been saying that they have a very strong case. But I remember, I want to keep in mind, maybe they do have a very strong case, because this is only the preliminary hearings, man. This isn't even the trial yet, necessarily. But to jump to the conclusion that he was emotionally and mentally abusive, right. Key Dawn, that's also a good point too. See, abused wife usually doesn't match cheating wife, in my opinion. A woman who's so abused and afraid to leave because they're afraid of anything that they do wrong could get them killed, right? That's the consensus. Isn't that the general consensus of an abused woman in a relationship? That anything that I do could set this person off because I think he's going to kill me at some point, right? That's the picture that's trying to be painted out here by the prosecution, right? That's the picture that's trying to be painted out here on Barry from social media, right? From the court of public opinion, right? But it just doesn't it doesn't match up. It doesn't match up. I mean, I'm telling you, man, that is bold. That is bold to have an ongoing 2-year relationship with someone while you're married to a controlling, mentally and emotionally abusive, controlling person. That makes no sense. Okay, but see, that right there proves my point too. And guys, if you're not, Alex Erickson's been doing some great work on this case too. Nice little short videos, to the point, all the facts. So I highly recommend subscribing to Alex Erickson. She's great. But okay, so I mean, yeah. So Alex made a point here. Let me go back to that. So she told him she wanted to split, and those texts were deleted. 4 days later, she was missing. So the texts where she told him that she wanted to split were deleted, and then 4 days after those text messages took place, she goes missing, right? So that could also mean that she left. That's one way to look at it. It also means that gave him motive to kill her. That's also what that could mean. But my whole thing is, why did it take 2 years to tell him that she wanted to split? If that's the definitive time where she finally tells him, hey, I want to split up with you, why was she seeing another man for 2 years? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, no, that's all I'm saying here, people. I want to be clear, Chicken Little. I want to be clear, because I don't have my opinion is definitely leaning towards Barry's guilt. What I'm doing is kind of playing devil's advocate and letting you guys know that the defense might have a stronger case than the prosecution. That's all I'm saying. Like, be for that. That's all I'm here to tell you right now, is be ready that the defense might just be able to get him off the hook. All right, I'm sorry about that, guys. I don't care, dude. See, that's what I'm saying. So she's telling her friends, oh, I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait. No, dude. If you're in an abusive relationship, your life's in danger. If you're in an abusive relationship, your kids' lives are in danger. You get them, you move, you get out. There's nothing that anybody here is going to tell me that's going to justify her staying in an abusive relationship. There's nothing. Well, I'm just going to wait till the girls, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Yeah, exactly. Twisted Tea, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Fear is not a reason to stay, Cherry K. I'm sorry. It's not. It's not a reason to stay. It's not a reason to keep your children, especially if they're still minors, in that situation. It's not. It's all the more reason to get up and leave. And if she was so scared, Alex Erickson, then she would not have cheated. She would not have risked having an affair with somebody. You know what that does to a narcissist? Being second best. You know what that does? If you're afraid for your life, you're not going to take that chance. If you're afraid for your kids' lives, you're not going to take that chance. Sorry, you're just not. And it sure as hell wouldn't be safe to tell people about exactly Crazy Tunes. That's all I'm saying. Is like it all just doesn't add up. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna have to do better than this to convince me that Barry Morphew was abusive towards his wife. You're just gonna have to do a lot better than that. Because I'm not hearing it. All I'm seeing in my chat is people going, well, he was controlling and abusive. Okay, well, what's telling you that? And then I heard a comment, and I saw a comment where they said, oh, well, he held a gun to her head and choked her. Okay, when? Where's the evidence of that? Where's the police report? Where are the 911 calls of domestic violence that took place in that house? I'm with you, Soper Girl. I'm just not buying it. All I'm saying is, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you think so. It doesn't matter if I think so. It doesn't matter if you don't think so. It doesn't matter if I don't think so. What matters is if one jury thinks so or doesn't think so, I should say. That's all that matters. It matters if one juror isn't convinced. And I'm telling you right now, so far, I'm not convinced. Do I think he did it? Do I think he premeditated it? Do I think that he got rid of all the evidence? Do I think that he's guilty of everything that he's been charged with? Yes. Personally, yes. My gut's telling me yes. But I'm telling you that the defense has plenty to create doubt right now because just certain things just don't add up. The fact that she was living foul on the side does not help her case, does not help the prosecution's case against Barry. It doesn't help it. It may not ruin it, but it sure doesn't help it. That's all I'm saying. If they can discredit this person and make her seem like, she's just not being appreciative of a loving husband, well, then that plants the seed in their mind. If she actually took $70,000 out of a safe before she disappears, well, that's enough to create doubt. That's enough to go, ooh, oh man, I don't know about that. That's all it takes. One juror to go, ooh, That's a bad look. That's all I'm trying to say, people. That's the only point I'm trying to make. Doesn't matter what we think. What matters is what's a jury as a whole going to think? And are we going to end up having a hung jury here? I agree with you, LJ. I agree with you. I think that's exactly what the motive was. I think that's exactly what the motive was. And I think that that's exactly what prosecution is going to try to point out. But the defense, the way I'm seeing it, is the defense is going to be able to poke a whole bunch of holes in the prosecution's case, is all I'm trying to say. Exactly. In a nutshell, in a comment, even though I think he is guilty, I couldn't convict with what we have right now. Couldn't have said that better. Yeah, I agree, Bobby Pin, but you can't convict someone. I don't think that you can convict someone, and if they did convict with what they have right now, in theory, I would say it's relatively easy to be able to appeal his conviction. You know, I mean, if this is what they got. Well, I mean, once this trial is in full swing, we're going to know everything. You know, that's the whole point of the trial is prosecution has to present all their evidence, and they will present their evidence. But I just hope that they have more than what they have, is all I'm saying. And just on a side note here, Summer Wells is still missing, guys. Yeah, this is just an update, K9 Rescue. This is just an update. See, USA juries must have all 12 jurors say guilty. If 11 jurors say guilty and one says no, then the defendant walks. That's called a hung jury. But the prosecution can hold a new trial with a new jury. That's true. They can do that as well. Now, here's the thing, though. If they all agree and say not guilty, we find him not guilty, well, then there's something called double jeopardy. He can't be charged with the same crime twice if he's already been let off. Oh, yeah. I imagine my opinion is going to be much different than a lot of people's. But see, I want you to understand that my opinions that I'm expressing right now are the opinions of someone who, if I was on a jury right now, hearing this evidence, it's not enough. It's just not enough. Because I did not expect to find out that Suzanne Morphew was like, I totally expected this just to be another case of some dude who sucks and murdered his wife because he's a prick, you know? And that's it. cut and dry, plain and simple. I expected it just to be that simple. The truth is, what I thought it was, money. I thought it was an insurance thing. I thought he was going to just make her disappear. She was going to be declared dead, and then eventually he would collect life insurance money. That's what I thought the entire motive was this entire time. Well, since he was arrested. But I also expected them to have at least a murder weapon or traces of blood or something. They don't have any of that. There's no evidence that Suzanne's even dead, is the point. There's no evidence so far that Suzanne's even dead. That's something that you got to keep in mind. I did not expect to find out that Suzanne Morphew was having an affair. And a big part of that is, why wouldn't her lover come forward? And no, we don't know what they have yet. I'm saying what we know so far. This is just an update. This is just what we know so far. What's up, Sandy Jersey girl? Well, it is if they charge the husband with murder. What are you talking about? I don't think it's past the time where a missing person is declared dead. I mean, it's probably not technically, but I think it's pretty solidified once they actually charge the husband with the person's murder. I think she's declared dead at that point. Right. Well, that's the thing. And when it comes to now reasonable doubt is very, very thin, and it's very, very easy to plant, because you don't even have to convince a jury that that's the case. You don't even have to convince the jury that and make them believe that she ran off. You don't have to do that. What you have to do is just make one juror entertain it as a possibility. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. One juror to just entertain it as a possibility and go, wait a minute. I mean, that could have happened. It doesn't even take that juror to go, yep, I believe that happened. I believe she ran off. All they have to do is go, I mean, she could have ran off. Maybe. It's possible. That's all it takes. Yeah, no, I talked about the trash dumps earlier. I was joking about them, actually, because that looks really bad. That looks really bad on him. But that's purely circumstantial. That's purely circumstantial. We don't know what's in those. We don't know what's in that garbage. That too. I mean, he does work on a job site, and he's the boss, right? He's what does he do? Construction, something like that. And he's the boss. So supposedly he was only at the job site for like a max of like 15 minutes, right? I mean, but maybe he shows up and he goes, okay, guys, I want this done today. I want that done today. And I want that done today. And I'll be back to check on your progress. That doesn't necessarily, that in no way, shape, or form proves that he was getting rid of evidence of a body. That in no way, shape, or form proves that. Because if I just created doubt right now and said, well, I mean, he's the boss of a site. He's the boss of a construction company. That's all I'm saying, Alex. All I'm saying is that with what we know so far, it's not inconceivable in the slightest bit to think that the defense has enough to create doubt. Yeah, so if he has the company in trouble, I mean, I wish I knew more about that, but maybe he has the company in trouble because he wasn't doing any work. he maybe he was just a slacker all around. Maybe this was habitual for him to show up to a job site for 15 minutes and then take off, bark some orders at people and then take off. Maybe this was a habitual thing for him, and maybe that's why the company was in trouble because of him. So okay, so Louisiana girl saying there's no way anyone is going to convince me that Linda Stanley, who is a rock star, would have charged first degree without being able to bring it. Oh, I mean, maybe. You also got to think, it's a high profile case. Maybe she's looking to run for mayor. You know what I mean? Because I'm telling you right now, I was the only one to say it. When she first made a press conference, held a press conference saying that she was charging Barry Morphew with murder and all those other charges. Well, I mean, like, she didn't look that confident to me. She actually got kind of snippy with one of the reporters. And I thought that was kind of weird. So one could argue that she doesn't feel as confident about her case as she's coming off. But that's major speculation there. That's just an observation that I made where I'm considering that to be a possibility. That doesn't even mean that that's my opinion. Well, Caleb said, so it's me and yeah, I'm leaning that way too. I'm not seeing Barry being based on finding out that she's planning on leaving him, finding out that she's having an affair. This has a 2020 episode of A Professional Hit written all over it. You know what I mean? He doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that likes to get his hands dirty when it comes to things like this. And that's if he's even guilty. Is that true? That it's illegal to work on Sundays, that type of work? I don't know about that. I mean, maybe in Colorado, but it wasn't in Georgia when I worked construction. I had to work 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. We were remodeling a public high school, and it was the summertime, and we had a deadline, so we were working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. Now, yeah, going back to True Crime Junkies thing here, her comment. Um, to me, it's more of a professional hit than him doing it, which could explain the $70,000 missing. Yeah, but Caleb stated earlier that it was Suzanne that removed the 20,000 or the $70,000. I'm curious as to. Okay, Caleb's confirming that. So I'm curious, Caleb. How did you come to that conclusion? How do you know it was Suzanne that removed the $70,000 from the safe? And where was this safe? Maybe that's all there was, KD2. Dude, $70,000 is plenty for a fresh start, depending on how modest you're willing to. Dude, I could start a whole new life with $70,000, a comfortable one for me, because I don't require that many luxuries. Okay, safe was in the garage. Okay, now let's be clear about this. Now, thank you for clearing that up. Barry's attorney, whose job it is to defend Barry, claims that Suzanne took $70,000 out of the safe, not the FBI. Safe was in the garage. Yeah, that's yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of. This is one of those things where like there's so much drama involved in this now. You know what I mean? Like I'm telling you, this is going to be the new Watts. This is what this is going to be. There's so much drama involved in this now. Now that there's affairs involved and stuff like that, like social media is going to eat this up, and and you're just going to hear all kinds of ridiculousness. You know that Barry and Jeff were in on it together, or Barry blackmailed Jeff. Like, I'm going to expose you to your wife if you don't kill her, and then we all live happily, and I'll even split money with you. I mean, all kinds of idiotic, crazy conspiracy theories are going to come out. Best thing we can do is just listen to how the evidence is presented at this trial, and that's it. See, look at K9 Rescue. I hate to put you on the spot, but see, you're the epitome of what I've been talking about. You see how she worded this right here? No, because we're gonna get a trial on this one with all that enthusiasm. We're gonna get a trial on this one. That proves my point that people felt cheated out of a trial when it came to the Watts case. People wanted the drama and the dramatics of a trial and felt cheated when they didn't get one. That wording from K9 Rescue just confirmed that to me. Oh, yeah, that's not going to happen. He's never going to plead guilty. Not at this point. I mean, if they have nobody, if he has attorneys and his attorneys are like, yeah, I could totally get you off the hook on this, then yeah, he's never going to plead guilty. Um, Unless by some miracle, some movie magic thing happens and some plot twist in the story where during the trial all of a sudden this new evidence comes up and then the prosecution's like, sidebar with your honor, we have new evidence. I just don't see that happening. I mean, they don't have a body. They don't have an alleged murder weapon. They don't have any blood. They don't have a crime scene. I mean, these are important things to charge somebody with murder with, man. Now, keep in mind though, there's a good point right here too. Caleb's making, see this, I love Caleb in my chat, dude. So Caleb's making a fantastic point here. Imagine being on trial and learning for the first time that your wife was cheating on you for 2 years. There was no need to kill her. He would have won in the divorce if a non-no fault, if it's a non-no fault state, or if it's a no fault state. I mean, now we don't know if that's the first time he's hearing about the affair, but we're not seeing any evidence yet that indicates that he did know that she was having an affair, other than the fact that she disappeared. Yeah, Mandy Bates. Yeah, I know. We're just speculating based on the stuff that we know right now. That's all. See, here we go. Again, Chicken Little here. Chicken Little here is making a good point. So that brings me back to my point again. I'm surprised Barry didn't want to see pictures of proof of Suzanne's girls' vacations. Hard to believe she got away with that. That's what I'm saying. If he was this controlling person, this controlling, abusive narcissist that everybody's making him out to be right now, well, wouldn't he ask to see some sort of proof? Even in a manipulative manner, be like, honey, make sure you send me tons of pictures of you and the girls because I miss you so much. One in the back of his mind, he's going, I wonder if she's cheating. I want to see what her response to that will be. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't see her. I don't see him being this controlling, abusive guy and her getting away with a 2-year relationship with someone. An ongoing 2 year. It's not like she was just living foul and going after different dudes for 2 years. You know, like she was seeing the same guy for 2 years, talking to him. They had a relationship. Now, it was only 6 times within 2 years that they saw each other, but that's 6 times that she got away with seeing this guy. 6 times. Okay. I'm going to assume I'm going to piss everyone off here, but I expect everybody here to be honest. Okay. I expect everyone here to be honest. All right. But all right. So I'm going to assume everybody here, nobody here is controlling, right? All you married folks, right? Or in relationships. I want to make sure like nobody here sees themselves as controlling, correct? Right? Nobody does. Let's just assume that. Okay. Since none of you married people see yourselves as controlling, type of 1, if you think that if your significant other was having an affair for 2 years, you would know about it. Type of 2, if you believe that you would absolutely be oblivious to it. Look at all these controlling, abusive people in my chat. That's incredible. All of you controlling, abusive people in my chat. Incredible. You all are narcissistic, abusive, crazy people. That's the logic that I'm hearing. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. I'm not seeing Barry being this controlling, abusive dude. And he's not a stupid man, I don't think. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. Before you start jumping to that conclusion and calling somebody abusive and narcissistic and controlling and I want to know everything you're doing. Who the hell are you talking to? Blah blah blah. Dude, anybody like that's gonna know that their wife is cheating. There's no way. This woman would be too scared. She'd be too scared to even think about having an affair with some dude for 2 years. Taking off with the dude 6 times. I agree, Jessica Moon, and I just proved it right now. I just proved it. Got 173 people in this chat right now. Very few of you said 2. Very few of you typed a 2 in this chat. That's what I'm saying. It sounds to me like she was unhappy in her relationship. Dude was quoting scripture. You know how annoying that is when people quote scriptures at you all the time to talk down to you? You're supposed to have an equal partner. This person's supposed to be your equal partner. And every time they want to make a point, they talk down to you quoting scripture. You know how irritating that is? I don't care what his friends say, K9. That's hearsay. I'm saying there's nothing to indicate that. There's nothing to indicate it. Just because his friends say so doesn't mean nothing. There's nothing to indicate it. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up that this dude was this controlling person and she's going to have an affair for 2 years. Like, this person that's supposed to be your equal partner is talking down to you. Then, you know what I'm saying? She's going to get annoyed with this guy. And plus, he's never around because he's always working. She's getting lonely. And yes, she's at her sexual peak. Women that age are generally at their sexual peak. And I mean, a woman like that, she needs attention. Here she is taking good care of herself, trying to stay beautiful, staying healthy. I mean, she wants male attention. It's understandable. But I'm not going to justify her cheating for 2 years. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to justify Chris Watts cheating with Nicole Kessinger for the few months that he did. So I'm damn sure not going to justify this woman cheating on her husband for 2 years with some dude who didn't even have the guts to come forward and try to help with the investigation. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you can't be monogamous, don't be in a monogamous relationship. It's just that simple. Like, we're all adults, you know? If you can't be a monogamous person, then don't be in a relationship with somebody who expects you to be monogamous. And let me tell you something. Cheating, and I've said this on this channel before many times, Cheating is not the act of physically contacting someone and having sexual contact with them. Cheating is not, that is not what cheating is. Cheating is keeping secrets from your spouse. Anything that you would lie to your spouse about or your significant other, anything that you would lie to them about is cheating. So if it's texting, if you're doing it behind their back, it's texting or sending smoke signals, and you lie to your significant other about it, you're cheating on them. Sorry, that's just how that is. I don't care what you say. Nobody's saying that. See, now, come on, man. Nobody's saying that she got what she deserved or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it's going to be hard to prove. It's going to be hard for the prosecution to prove to 12 jurors and 4 alternates that Barry was a controlling, abusive person. That's all I'm saying. Dude, I'm with you, Erica. I'm with you. I am with you. That is exactly the lying and then lying to cover up other lies and all that. God, that is way too much work. That is way too much work. God, it's so much easier just to be single. Like, it really is. It's just so much easier. I agree with you. I agree with you up until the very last part of your statement. I don't think, there's no excuse. That's not an excuse to use to, okay, well, I need the confidence. I need the confidence to leave the situation that I'm totally unhappy in. I need the confidence to do it. No, dude, you just need to do it. You need to have some self-respect, have some respect for your kids, because if you're unhappy, then your kids are unhappy watching their mom be unhappy. You owe it to your own kids to make yourself happy. You owe it to your own kids to set that example for them so that if they're in a similar situation, they have the confidence to just get out and leave and make themselves happy. You owe it to your kids to do that. It's your job to set that example for your kids. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. So no, sitting there going, oh, she needed the support and the confidence to leave. No. She's a mother. She has responsibilities. Her responsibility is to set an example for her kids. If she expects her kids to be in happy marriages, she needs to set an example that if I'm not going to be in a happy marriage, well, by God, I'm going to create a happy situation for myself. I want my kids to be happy. I need to show my kids this is how you get happy. You don't sit there and live in misery. And you damn sure don't use your kids as an excuse to stay living in misery. You don't. Sorry. I mean, the only thing in common there with the dryer, Caleb, in that statement, the only thing in common in that statement is the dryer. The tranquilizer dart cap in the dryer, I don't know. But the reason why Jodi Arias put the camera in the dryer is because she was trying to damage the camera and erase evidence, and failed. Now, he could have been trying to use the dryer to kill evidence, any DNA or bacteria or whatever that might have been on it. I mean, but why use the dryer and then leave it in the dryer? That doesn't make sense. Everybody keeps talking about the cancer too. I mean, and that's another thing. So she went through cancer and she survived cancer. Why isn't anybody assuming that Barry helped her get through that? That Barry could have been an intricate part of her fighting cancer and surviving. Why isn't anybody considering that? Yeah, nobody's saying that she deserved anything. Nobody's saying that. I'm just pointing out the truth. I'm pointing out that if prosecution is trying to create and paint Barry to be a certain way, it's going to be fairly simple, at least with what we know now. It's going to be fairly simple for the defense to create doubt and shut that down. That's all I'm saying. Don't be shocked if it happens. That's the whole point of everything that I'm telling you right now. And then there's the whole thing about him bragging about killing 85 squirrels. And yeah, like Annie's live yesterday, that immediately made me think of Chad Daybell killing what was it, a possum or something like that. But I mean, I could see a guy like Barry bragging about killing 85. What was it? Chipmunks? It's chipmunks, right? I mean, I could see that. I mean, is it weird? Yeah, but it's not. It's. I mean, somebody who lives out in the country and likes to shoot and doesn't really care about, you know, animals, isn't all environmentally conscious, that I could see him shooting chipmunks for fun. Does it make him a dick? Absolutely. Sure. I totally agree. I think he's a dick for doing that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's trying to come up with some alibi for, you know, or come up or some justification for, you know, that's supposed to divert attention from him committing a murder on his property to a human being. I just, yeah, I don't see that. Well, I don't think he was eating the chipmunks though, Kiki Don. But yeah, that's a very common thing in the South is people shoot squirrels and then they cook them up and they eat them, man. That's not uncommon at all. But him bragging about shooting 85 chipmunks, you know, I mean, that's just a dick. You know what I mean? Kimmy71, I sure hope so. I sure hope so. I'm with you. I sure hope so. You're saying I believe the prosecution has an ace up their sleeve, or they would have never gone with a first-degree murder charge, in my opinion. I mean, yeah. I like I said, I sure hope so, man. You know, I sure hope they got more than what they're showing. Well, she had beaten the cancer, supposedly, Cherry K. She had beaten the cancer. Right, exactly. This dude probably sitting around, you know, on his property, and there's probably a lot of. We saw the property. We've seen what the property looks like. There's probably a lot of wildlife around there, and so he's probably shooting chipmunks for fun, for sport, and he's keeping score. What a dick! I don't like this dude at all. Oh, see, that's different, though. That's different. If that's true, that's different. Danny B says locals said that the squirrels there are prone to some disease, so they try to get rid of them as much as they can. So that makes sense. So if he's bragging about shooting 85 squirrels, then he's got a reason to brag, because if they're carrying disease and spreading disease, and the locals are all in agreement that that's how we're going to deal with them, well, then, okay. I still don't like it, but it doesn't make him this sociopath who's just killing animals just to kill animals. Because you'd think with all the wildlife around there, he'd be like, I killed 85 squirrels. I killed 85 chipmunks, 50 squirrels, 20 deer. You know, he's shooting everything. He's shooting everything and killing everything just to brag about it. Yeah, for sure. Christy Myers. Yeah, I definitely feel that if he's guilty, it was definitely premeditated for sure. I'm in agreement with you there. I'm in agreement with that statement totally. You know, like you're not gonna, you know what I mean? You want to live out in the wild. Well, guess what? You're in their house. You're sitting there setting up shop in their house. You know, that's suck it up. I agree. You don't get to just come out there and start conquering. What is that? Exactly. Exactly. All right, guys. I'm starving, so I'm gonna call it and make something to eat. I appreciate you guys. So yeah, in conclusion, with what we know so far, I mean, this is a hell of a turn. This is definitely not what I expected. I definitely expected his motive to be money. Um, yeah, this is crazy. um, I definitely see Suzanne in a different light, but that doesn't mean that I feel like she deserved anything that happened to her in the slightest bit. Uh, I don't think that it's her fault by not leaving. That's not what I'm implying. I'm saying that it's going to be hard for the prosecution to prove Barry to be controlling and to be abusive now that we know this. I mean, 2 years, man. Come on. That's all I'm trying to say. They did do an excellent job preventing leaks. Absolutely. So, uh, yeah, we're just at the beginning of this, guys. So, um, yeah, let's see what the prosecution does and brings to the table. But yeah, with what we know so far, don't be shocked. Don't be shocked if the defense manages to do a good job of creating doubt. Don't be shocked by it. All right, guys. I love you very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends. And before I go, make sure to watch Mexi tonight. I will be on Mexi's channel tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. Make sure to subscribe to him if you're not, and make sure to check that out. All right, guys. We will do this again very soon, my friends. Thank you.